Hey there, guys. How are you? Welcome to another live broadcast where I sit here in my chair and talk about things that don't really matter for the next 2 hours. And you can ask anything and everything you want to via the live YouTube page in the comments, I believe. So, yeah, I haven't done a live event in a long time. I usually do Google Hangouts, but this is a little bit different. It took me a few seconds to figure it out. And yeah, I actually had to put a shirt on for this video because I've been sitting here shirtless and pantless for the last 2 hours shooting reviews. So those should be up tomorrow morning. And what else is there? Hang on, I gotta turn down the audio here. I have 15 windows open right now. I don't know who I am or where I'm at. I feel discombobulated and a little bit weak in the knees. So yeah, a lot of people are joining now. How are you guys doing? How rude of me not to ask. I'm doing pretty good. It's 6 o'clock at night, and here's what's going to happen, guys. I'm gonna do this for an hour. Now, when I say that, it usually turns into 7 hours, but what I want to do is I want to be able to go to the gym and work out tonight. Let me play my oh yeah, my name is Morgan Freeman. Okay, we got to test the microphone. That's how you should test every microphone. Speaking into it all deep like, saying you're Morgan Freeman. All right, so let's jump into some of your questions. And by the way, once again, if you have any questions, type them. Let me read them. Let's see them. And we're going to talk about some movies. There's a lot of movie news the last couple weeks. I think I put out more videos over on my Flickinger channel than I have ever. And they were all movie news, rumors, and stuff like that. So, hey. Well, hey there to you, Abu Dhabi. As you can tell, I can't read, and I have the education of a fourth grade child. Feels good, though. Feels good to be live again. It really does. John, could you please give me a shout-out? That comes from Peyton Van Est, and seriously, a big fan of your videos. You and Stuckman are the reasons I want to be a movie critic. I don't even consider myself a movie critic. I'm a dude who talks about movies in his movie watching room, which he calls the Flick Cave. What do you think about Benedict Cumberbatch being cast as Doctor Strange? Now, this isn't confirmed yet. It's not official, but I believe the rumor might be true. And if Benedict Cumberbatch is Doctor Strange, that's fine by me. He looks the role, and I think he can add that creepy, weird element to it. I mean, just take his performance in the movie Star Trek Into Darkness as Khan. My name is Khan. If he can do shit like that and make it all weird like that, I buy into it. Plus, I buy the guy's a badass because even when he was playing Khan in Star Trek, I was like, yeah, this guy's kicking ass. I buy that. So if he is indeed Doctor Strange, perfect casting choice. John, who is better, Tom Hardy or Michael Fassbender? I like both of them, but I have more of a man crush on Tom Hardy just because his traps and he was Bane. I mean, you got to respect a guy who was Bane. But then again, Michael Fassbender. He was Michael from Prometheus. I'll go with Tom Hardy. I just prefer to watch Tom Hardy movies. Thoughts on Insidious Chapter 3 trailer? In all honesty, I think that trailer was a little bit underwhelming and a little bit scattered. Like, I like the scene where the girl's knocking on the wall and then it knocks back. That's fine, but then it just goes all these random jump cuts of like blah, 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 and it's a prequel story, which I don't really think it's necessary to be a prequel, but I think when they wrote the sequel, they're like, well, we just wrapped up every loose end. How do we bring back Redface and, you know, the paranormal chick? So we'll go with a prequel, which, as long as it's scary and it's at least as good as the sequel, I don't think it'll be better than the original, I'll be happy. Anything will be better than Annabelle, okay? That was an abomination against humanity. And the movie Ouija, which I just did a review on. I'll put that up tonight. Yeah. It's not hard to make a decent horror film. It's really not. It just, you know, the thing about horror films, especially around Halloween season, it's surprising that there's not like 25 of these things coming out. I mean, this year we had like, what, 3 theatrical releases of horror films? How is that possible? They don't cost that much to make. They all make a shit ton of money if they're good or bad. I don't comprehend how every movie studio doesn't put out one of these for the Halloween season. John, do you have a preference when it comes to film versus digital projection in theaters? Well, do I have a preference? I mean, film is like watching a movie dance. You know, it feels more vibrant and alive. It feels like all the little specks in the film just it makes you feel like you're there, and it feels like there's a little more depth to it. And I believe what is the term I'm looking for? The resolution of film is higher than digital can ever be, or at this point in time. But that's not to say I don't like digital. Every theater has it now, unfortunately, good or bad. And the sad thing is, I've been looking for a theater nearby that actually has old film projectors. That way I can go see an early screening of Interstellar rather than wait 2 extra days. But yeah, it's all going digital. We can't stop it. So, but let me ask you this. Could you imagine a classic film like, for instance, Taxi Driver being shot with digital cameras rather than film? Just think about that. I don't think it'd be the same. Yo, Flick, what is your dream movie cast? I don't know. That would take 10 hours, a whole bunch of energy drinks, and me locking myself in a room. It definitely have Tom Hardy in it. That's all I can tell you. John, do you think Tom Cruise could have make a good Hawkeye? In all honesty, I think anyone other than Jeremy Renner could make a good Hawkeye. I don't hate Jeremy Renner as an actor. I thought he did really good in the movie The Town, but he's just kind of a bland Hawkeye. What are you dressing up for as Halloween? Probably nothing. I think I'm just going to sit inside and let the trick-or-treaters come into my house. But that doesn't mean I'm going to give them candy. I'm going to lock my door, and they're just going to keep knocking on it. I'm not going to answer it. It's a little thing I call enjoyment. It's sick and twisted. Maybe I'll put my Bane mask on and just threaten to break little trick-or-treaters when they come to my door. And then their parents call the cops on and get arrested. Thoughts on the final scene and ending to The Sopranos show? Yeah, a few weeks ago, I finished watching all the episodes of The Sopranos. Love the show, but damn, that ending was kind of like a slap in the face to the audience. I mean, can we just have kind of a conclusion? I mean, you're just going to fade to black? All right. It's definitely a letdown. What do you think about season 5 of The Walking Dead? I watched Walking Dead last night. I thought that it had a great season premiere opener, which most of the seasons of Walking Dead do, and then they slowly decline downhill. I'm tired of the melodrama of the characters. It turns into a soap opera. And some of the things that they say and do just don't make any logical sense whatsoever. I mean, even the fact that they're still stuck in Georgia after 5 years, it baffles my brain that they can't go 200 miles and get out of the state, or let alone find a facility that can. Anyway, I'm nitpicking on the show, but yeah, it's okay. It doesn't quite do what I want it to. And what they did last night, I'm not going to spoil anything if you guys haven't watched it yet, but I didn't like that decision that they made. It's like, why would you split into 2 groups? That just doesn't. How does that make any sense? Every time you guys do that, people die and things get fucked up. So why are we doing it again? Oh, Rick, yeah, it's because you're a really smart leader, aren't you? All right. But you know what? The sad truth is I have nothing better to do on Sunday nights, so I still watch the show. What do you think about the Saw movies? Well, I love the first Saw movie, and I think that's an underrated movie, in my opinion. I think that movie was original. It had a great twist ending, and I bought it on Blu-ray just a few days ago at Best Buy for $6, and I plan on watching it maybe tonight or tomorrow. But the sequel to Saw was okay. It was acceptable, and then everything after that slowly turned into like torture porn and just became more about like, let's make traps that are crazy and over convoluted, and then we'll try to make a script that makes sense with a story that doesn't. So yeah, all the other Saw movies besides the first two, I would say, are complete letdowns. But I heard that they are rebooting the Saw franchise maybe next year or the year after that. So that might be interesting. I hope that they step back from the torture porn stuff and try to do something with the original premise of Saw. That would be good. If you could see any movie coming out in 2015 or 2016 right now that's not Batman v Superman, what would it be? Love your videos. Yeah, that probably would have been my pick. In all honesty, Star Wars. I'd probably pick Star Wars. Yep, Episode 7. That's the movie I would want to see besides Batman v Superman. I just want to go back to space. I want to see Luke Skywalker. I want to see Han Solo. Give me fucking Yoda too, and I want to see. Well, that might be a spoiler. I don't want to mention that, but yeah, I want that epic space opera adventure where I can shove popcorn in my mouth and look at the Millennium Falcon fly by. What is your dream actor team up? How about a movie that stars Nicolas Cage and his son is his son is Keanu Reeves? Imagine that movie. There's a man out there with his finger in a bun. Like, whoa. Imagine that for an hour and a half. That would be phenomenal. It would be the worst, best movie I've ever seen in my life. I like this live events way of doing things. I like the comment system. It actually pops up on the side. That's good. All right. Hey, John, how many times have you drank Mountain Dew while watching movies? I can't count that high. It's at least in the millions, Probably not. I don't even drink Mountain Dew all that much anymore. I found that my many years of drinking Mountain Dew, eventually it started to eat away at my brain tissue, almost like battery acid. And anytime I drink Mountain Dew now that doesn't have a lot of ice cubes in it to water it down, it almost feels like it's burning my esophagus. So now I'm drinking like Pepsi Max, things like that. I like to drink a lot of Gatorade. Gatorade is the key to life. If I could take a bath in Gatorade, I would do it. I guess I could do that. It really wouldn't be that hard. Like, that's some big dream and aspiration of mine, to take a bath in Gatorade. But I really could do that for like $30. But I just choose not to. So I guess it's really not a dream of mine. Thoughts on the early reviews for Interstellar? Funny you said that. I've been reading some of the reviews for Interstellar very carefully because I just know some asshole on the internet's going to try to spoil it. But I'm sorry for the cough. I'm dying. But I've been reading the reviews, and some of them sound a little bit mediocre to me, and I'm really hoping my anticipation for this movie is going to be my #1 movie of the year. So I'm hoping for something amazing, and I just want this space adventure that just takes me into the stars, and that's what I need. I need an adventure in space, because science fiction movies with space exploration, one of my favorite things you can possibly do. So I'm hoping the movie is good and it blows my melon wide open. But yeah, some of the underwhelming reviews, I don't know. It's hard to say. Film is subjective, and I'd have to look at these other people's past movie preferences to really get into their psychosis of what movies they like and dislike. But yeah, speaking of Interstellar, the thing is, a lot of the other directors, like Edgar Wright, he said it was phenomenal. He said it was the best Nolan movie to date. So I'm going to go with that for now. Hey, John, I've been watching you for 3 or 4 years now. I want to watch some great TV shows like Sons of Anarchy, S.H.I.E.L.D., The Wire. I watched True Detective. I watched it a few weeks ago. Loved the first season of True Detective. It's phenomenal. And it's more than a TV show. It's an 8-hour movie, and I loved everything about it. I remember getting to episode 5 of True Detective, and I was like, yep, I'm not going to sleep tonight. And then I just watched every single episode after that until the conclusion. As far as... okay, I thought you were talking about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. as a good TV show. Okay, you said The S.H.I.E.L.D., thank God. Oh yeah, but what other? I'm watching. I started watching. I'm done with season 1 of Game of Thrones. Phenomenal show. Peter Dinklage is badass, and I love it. Sean Bean had to die, but either way, I still love it. Hey John, if Rambo, the Terminator, John McClane, Captain, I'm just gonna go with the Terminator. He would be the last man standing in that. He's a fucking killing machine. The T-800 endoskeleton. I'm a cybernetic organism. You can't kill a Terminator unless you have like a lava pit in a at the end of T2. Do you play Batman video games? I've played one of the Arkham Batman video games, and I didn't really love it. In all honesty, I didn't love the first Arkham Batman video game, but I do want to play the new one coming out. I did. I think the last video game I played with Batman in it before that was the Batman Begins video game based on the movie back in like 2005, and I remember playing that on PlayStation 2. And it wasn't that good, but I remember enjoying it just because I was like, I get to be Batman. This is great. And somebody asks, if you could make out with Batman, would you? Which version of Batman? Is it Val Kilmer? Is it George Clooney? Is it Christian Bale? Is it Michael Keaton? Because that just sounds gross. John Tarantino or Nolan? Of course, and why? How do I pick that? They both just make different genre of film, completely different styles. I think Nolan goes for the bigger scope, epic movies, and Tarantino goes for the smaller stories with a little bit more interesting dialogue between characters. So they're both very different. Hey, John, which horror movies are you planning to watch for Halloween? I might make a video about that in the next few days, but I still need to watch the first Saw movie. I watched Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the reboot that came out back in 2004 or 3 with Jessica Biel. Yeah, Jessica Biel. Going back and watching that movie with her in it, dripping sweat, running around from a guy with a chainsaw, that was... I just feel like Jessica Biel's underrated. What other movies? I want to watch the original John Carpenter's Halloween, and I might... I'm trying to think of it. I usually try to like to watch the first Nightmare on Elm Street because that movie just scares the living shit out of me. Literally, that's one of the scariest movies I can think to ever watch. Okay, apparently you hate original Batman TV series. What? Are you talking about the Adam West Batman TV series? I'm Adam West. Holy rust pipes, Batman! Holy rust pipes, Batman. I don't hate the original Batman TV series. I mean, I think it's campy crap, but it's still fun and so bizarre it's entertaining. And I might actually, they're coming out with the entire Blu-ray set of the original Batman TV series, and I might be able to get that for an early review, so look out for that. Punisher versus Batman. Who wins? Batman. Hey, John, what is your favorite character in The Walking Dead? I never thought I would say this 2 years ago. Carl. I like Carl the best. Why? Because he has the most common sense. He's become a little badass. He's a crack shot. And I remember, I think it was in episode or season 3 when he was back talking to his father, or maybe it was season 4, where he wasn't respecting his father anymore. I was like, thank you. You shouldn't respect Rick because he's literally a moron. Every decision he makes just gets people killed. So I like Carl now. I remember in the first season I really liked Glenn because he was before the apocalypse happened, he was a pizza delivery driver. And I was like, I get that because at one point in life I did the same thing. So I was like, yeah, I could say that in a zombie apocalypse. Plus, Glenn is with Maggie, so I'm a little bit jealous. Currently writing a paper for college. Give me some inspirational words. It's not what you do in life, but who you do. That's don't write that. I don't know. Hey, John, have you gotten to see Whiplash yet? Have not seen Whiplash. Still need to see Snowpiercer. Piercer. Yeah, Snowpiercer. I've been looking for it at the Redbox. I need to watch that. John, do a Bane impression. I don't have a Bane impression in me right now. I'm running on fumes and emptiness right now. I just got done talking for like an hour and a half shooting two reviews. I'm losing my voice and I have a cold. So, that's as good as I can do. I just sound like an old man. Hey man, I love your videos. As I want to, oh, I already read that. If you haven't, if you have an opportunity to interview Arnold Schwarzenegger, what would I ask him? I don't know, man. I'd probably ask him to take off his shirt with me and flex because that just would be a great photo op. I love Arnold, and it's not just because I love a lot of his movies. I mean, if you read the true life story of Arnold, it's crazy. I mean, this guy, the things he did to make it and succeed. Yeah, he stepped on some people's toes along the way, but he was so interesting. Go back and watch some old documentaries about Arnie. John, do you think Zack Snyder is an underrated director? In my opinion, he's my favorite director with Nolan, right with Blomkamp. Okay, here's the thing about Zack Snyder. I like Zack Snyder, and all the hate he gets for like directing Batman v Superman and Man of Steel. This guy knows how to make a movie look great. The scope of a movie, he can make it look epic and grand. And as long as Zack Snyder doesn't handle the script for the movie, I think he's what DC needs for that DC universe of movies. And him making the Justice League movie, that's phenomenal because you know for a fact you're going to get these big, badass, epic action sequences that go down in the movie. And the only thing we might need to worry about are some of the smaller scenes with character interaction. And I think as long as you have a good script writer, you're going to get all those things. So I love the way that he makes his movies look. I mean, if you go back and watch the movie Watchmen, say what you will about it, but that movie looks phenomenal. And I actually, I thought about this the other day. I remember like 2 years ago, before they made any announcements about Justice League or Batman v Superman or anything like that, I said the guy I would like to see direct a Justice League movie or Batman movie would be Zack Snyder, based on what he did in the movie Watchmen, because he took these fantastical characters that are crazy, and you're like, yeah, how do you bring them into a story that makes sense with real depth and emotion? And he did that. So, yeah, whenever you take a big man named Dr. Manhattan's dingly man balls and put him in a movie, and you're like, I still buy into that being real. I give Zack Snyder 2 thumbs up for that. So, I can't wait to see what he does with it. If the movies suck, well, then I'm going to just look like an asshole. But what is your favorite Brad Pitt movie? Well, I have two answers for that. The one that you could respect would probably be Fight Club. I love Brad Pitt in the movie Fight Club. And then my next answer to that would be Troy. Yeah, Troy. He plays Achilles, the bronze badass, but I don't know why the movie Troy, it relaxes me, and I'm going to tell you why. It's got this blue oceanic background, these bright sand, white sandy beaches, and just epic badass battles throughout the entire movie. And it's a great looking movie to watch. It takes me to a Mediterranean place I want to be, and relaxes me. And so I'm gonna go with Troy on that. Hey John, take a minute, relax, and tell me how things are going. Everything going well over there in the Flick Cave? By the way, you should watch Person of Interest. Things are going good in the Flick Cave. Actually, what's going on in the Flick Cave? I bought a surround sound system, finally, a 5.1 surround sound system. I will be doing a Flick Cave tour where I literally show you everything in the Flick Cave, and it'll be a cool video. That's coming sometime, maybe early November, where I literally cover every detail about everything that's in that room. And what else? In a few, let's see, I've been talking for 26 minutes almost. Maybe in a few minutes, maybe like 30 minutes or so, I might go to the gym. I just want to listen to some epic, badass instrumental music before my head explodes and just get a pump, you know? What else? I almost didn't even do this. Literally, it was 5 minutes before 6 o'clock, and I was like, you know what? I haven't done a Q&A in a while. I don't feel like pushing record on a camera and actually uploading the footage to YouTube, so I'll let YouTube do all the work. So, yeah, and I promised I would do one of these, and it's been long overdue, so here we are. So I just thank you guys for joining me. By the way, how the hell are you guys doing? That's the question. Hey, John, when is the next Flick trip coming? Maybe next week or so. Like I said, I usually take a break from Flick trips in the wintertime. Because in the wintertime, things get cold, all the roads icy, people drive like fucking morons because, oh no, there's a fucking speckle of snow on the ground. Everyone go in reverse. I can't stand people that drive in the wintertime. It's just like, let's all go 75 miles per hour and the strong will survive. Really, in all honesty, I just want society to turn into Mad Max Road Warrior. Leave the fuel and I will spare your lives. And I will become Lord Humongous, the Emperor of the Wastelands, where I wear a big hockey mask and no shirt, and I work out every day and rub baby oil on myself. John, if you were stranded on an island and you had to choose between Transformers 4 and The Happening, which movie would you pick between those two? Transformers 4, and I'll tell you why. I'm all alone on this island. I gotta have something to look at, and I want Mark Wahlberg to look at. Hey, Optimus, what are you doing over there? Hey, come here, Optimus. No, actually, his daughter in the movie. It'd give me something visually to look at and stimulate me, my man senses. Spider-Man has his Spidey senses. I have my man senses. But yeah, speaking of Transformers 4, I want to tell you guys something. Now, I know a lot of people like that movie. And it's not that I don't like the concept of Transformers. I just think they deserve a better movie. And I like the first Transformers movie. I love that movie. I remember seeing that in the theater 4 times. Love the movie. But Transformers 4 was a big sloppy pile of shitty mess that just got slapped in our faces. I remember an hour and a half into that movie, my head started hurting. I was like, nothing even makes sense right now. Why do they keep doing the same shit over and over again, but making it worse every time? My only regret in life is I think I gave Transformers a C in my review, and I should have gave it a lower score than that. So yeah, Transformers 4. Somebody asked about Benedict Cumberbatch being cast as Doctor Strange. Keep in mind, I've been doing this for 28 minutes, so that was one of the first questions I answered. If Bitch Tits Bob came at you and said he wanted a hug, would I do it? Yes, absolutely. Any man named Bitch Tits Bob wants a hug, you give him a hug. You sacrifice your footing for a kill stroke. I could fall asleep to your Lights, Camera, Jackson impression every night. There's just something about it. Don't get me started on that, kid. I don't want to talk about him. I don't want to go to the darkness right now. Not right now. We're having a good day. Why would we taint it with that? Would you like to have a hoverboard? Absolutely yes. Now, they have invented a real-life hoverboard. Now, it squeals like a pig when it's working. It's the most annoying sound you will ever see. But they have invented a hoverboard, and they did it just in time. Because Back to the Future 2 did not lie to us. So, yeah, except we never got Jaws Part 27. According to the movie, we're supposed to have that by now. But was going to watch Edge of tomorrow on Blu-ray. But when I saw you were live, my question are is it love to? Oh, thanks, man. Thanks for not watching the Tom Cruise movie and coming to watch me. Just watch it after this. It'll be there waiting for you. Good movie. Hey, John, love your vampire apocalypse, zombie apocalypse, or alien invasion. You have to pick one. If I had to pick which apocalypse I want to happen, the zombie apocalypse sounds really fun. It really does until you actually get into it. And then you're like, this kind of fucking sucks. I think the alien invasion would be interesting. But I don't know. If it was an alien invasion like Independence Day where they just have big ships that hover over our cities and blow them to hell, that wouldn't be fun. But if they actually came down here to fight us, that would be interesting. I just want to see aliens. Like, I just want to see aliens. That would be cool. On a scale of Nicolas Cage, 10 being the biggest, what do you think of the end of The Mist? What the fuck is... what? I don't even comprehend the question. I like the ending to The Mist. It was definitely dark, so that was good. John, if you were going to die, what would your last words be? Tell my mom not to go into my old room and open up the shoebox in my closet. That'd probably be my last words. There's some bad stuff in there. Have you seen Risky Business? Absolutely. I love Risky Business. The character Joel, played by Tom Cruise, run the whorehouse out of his parents' home when they go away for the week. Phenomenal movie. And it begs the question, would you sleep with a call girl, knowing that she's got around that much and had sex for money? Would you still do it? It's hard to say, man. It's hard to say. But then again, things were a lot more clean in the 80s. Do you watch Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.? No, I do not. I watched 7 minutes of it once, and that was enough for me. What are some of your favorite times of the year? I like Halloween, but not as much as I like Christmas. There's nothing better than going to the store around Christmas time, like the mall. It's all cram-packed, and you hate everyone that's in there. But it smells like cinnamon, and there's candy canes all over the place. I love it. And Christmas lights, they're just mystical to look at. Hey, Johnny, do you think The Hobbit, Battle of Five Armies, will be a great conclusion to the Hobbit saga and overall Lord of the Rings? You're the best. Love your videos. Greetings from Austria. Well, hey there. Austria, that's where Arnold's from. Yeah, here's the thing about the Hobbit movies. Do I like them? Do I respect them? Yeah, I think they're good movies. They're well done, and if you're a fan of Lord of the Rings, you like the movies too, obviously. But the thing about those movies, and this might be an unpopular opinion, but they are a little dragged out, too dragged out for their own good. They're literally interjecting things into those movies just to advance their runtime because they're based on the Hobbit novel, which is basically a children's novel, which could have all been concluded in a 3-hour movie. But yet they turn it into 9 hours of film. But some of the movies just go on a little bit too long for their own good in some scenes. I definitely feel like the first Lord of the Rings and Return of the King are definitely superior movies in every way. And the thing about the newer Hobbit films, maybe it's just me, but they feel more CGI'd than the Lord of the Rings movies, the previous trilogy, and they feel almost a little bit video game cartoonish like at times. But yeah, they're still fun movies to watch. Yeah, but do I think it'll be a good conclusion? I hope it's a good conclusion. Here's what I'm willing to bet with the conclusion to the Hobbit movies. You're going to have maybe 30 minutes of a story, and then you're going to have an hour-and-a-half battle sequence because they really don't have any more story to give you. But I'm just hoping it's badass. The Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies or the Mark Webb Spider-Man movies. I wasn't a fan of Spider-Man 2 or Amazing Spider-Man 2. I'll put it that way. Really, I don't feel like I've ever seen a Spider-Man movie I love. I remember when the first Spider-Man Sam Raimi movie came out back in the 2000s. I really liked the movie because it was one of the first comic book superhero movies that had come out in a while. And I remember the second one is definitely a superior movie. But overall, I just feel like there's so much room for improvement to make a good Spider-Man movie. And I just don't feel like they've quite reached that level. The Amazing Spider-Man 1, it almost got there a few times, but it just kept getting slapped down by some of the stupid script elements. Hey John, do you watch the Bond films? Which one is your favorite? Mine is Skyfall. Skyfall is a good Bond film, but if I had to pick one, I think Casino Royale is by far the best Bond film ever made, and I'm going to tell you why. That movie, it's like 3 movies in one. First of all, it's fun, it's adventurous, and it gives you everything you want out of James Bond. First of all, the movie starts out, it's like this big action movie. Then it has a love story. And then it has like the more psychological, kind of calmer part of the movie where he's actually playing gambling. He's gambling, playing poker in the casino. It's very like slow pace and it takes its time. But it's still, you're on the edge of your seat because you don't know what's quite going to happen in this game. So I think Casino Royale is, I like it better than Skyfall. And I think overall it's a superior James Bond movie. It's just more fun and more adventurous. And plus the movie, when you think it's over, it goes on for another 20 minutes with a big badass action sequence. And plus, let's not forget about the torture scene in that movie where he's getting hit in the nuts with a rope. John, would you rather have a roommate, Seth Rogen, or Mark Wahlberg? I feel like Mark Wahlberg would be an asshole. In all honesty, like I like Mark Wahlberg, but I think living with the guy, he'd be an asshole, like a really uptight asshole. Seth Rogen, he seems really laid back, really cool, but I wouldn't want my house to smell like weed all day. So that's a tough one. Out of all the movies you've seen, what is your favorite quote? I can't pick a favorite quote, man. Live or die, the choice is yours. We're gonna pick a Saw quote out of all the great movies that have come out. I don't know, maybe one of the Batman quotes. I'm a necessary evil, said by Bane. John, you will laugh when you read this. Out of every Disney princess, which one would you rather have sex with? Give me your top 5. Yeah, we want to know. I already made a video on that, my good sir. That's how weird and sick and twisted I am. Yeah, type in top 10 hottest Disney princesses on YouTube, and you will see my video. That should explain everything. Hey, M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong. Have you seen the film Amp Quote? This is England Amp Quote 2. Am I reading that right? Okay. No, I don't think I have seen that. John, please answer. What do you think of Dark City and The Crow? I don't remember much about Dark City. The Crow I liked. I'm curious if they actually proceed with the reboot of The Crow. But I like it. I never loved the Crow movies. But I think they're okay. They're very dark, very gloomy, and slightly depressing. Favorite ever video game? All right, so I played all the Call of Duty games, and they kind of got worse as they kept going because they got over convoluted and a whole bunch of 9-year-olds were on there screaming, and I just can't stand the squeal of a 9-year-old child unless my foot is on their skull. But you know what? I'll throw a random video game at you. It was the video game Crackdown. Crackdown Part 1 and Crackdown Part 2. Jumping around the city looking for hidden orbs for 2 weeks of my life were fun and intense, and climbing to the top of buildings, even in video games, I have a fear of heights. Looking down, it's just terrifying. Your hands get all sweaty. You're like, I don't want to fall. So maybe Crackdown 1 and 2. Trying to think. I played some other really good video games, but I'm trying to. We'll just go with that for now. John, who would win, the Avengers or the Justice League team? That's tough. That is a tough one. I mean, really, the thing that the Avengers have going for them is Thor, and they have the Hulk. But if you have Superman, he kind of, I think, he could take Thor out. But then you have the Hulk, which is that's the wild card in the bunch. Would you rather be a get? All right, this shit gets crazy right here. Would you rather be in the Gimp scene in Pulp Fiction or buried alive in a coffin underground? I'll take the coffin underground, man. I do not want to be in the Gimp scene in Pulp Fiction. That is a fear of mine. Ever since I seen that movie as a kid on HBO back in the mid-1990s, the Pulp Fiction pawn shop scene has always terrified me. Favorite song from the Guardians of the Galaxy soundtrack? No, not off the top of my head. I don't have a favorite. I really like the movie though, but I think the soundtrack for that movie really worked for what it was. But in my opinion, I like big epic sounding songs more. Like I like the Hans Zimmer score for The Dark Knight Rises more than I like the Guardians of the Galaxy soundtrack. Do you have any guilty pleasures? This is not an action movie. Guilty pleasures, of course. All right, well, this one technically is an action movie, but Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, I think is phenomenal. Also, another action movie is Van Helsing, that is a dirty guilty pleasure. A comedy movie that's a guilty pleasure of mine. And if you guys like comedy movies, especially from the early 1990s, like you like to go back to that time period and reminisce about life, go watch the movie Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter is Dead. Go watch that movie. It's actually funny, and it's a little bit dark and twisted, but highly recommend checking that out. Oh, there's another movie. I wanna double check the title of it to make sure I'm not stupid. Rivers. I think it's called River's Edge. Okay, yes. All right. You guys want a crazy, fucked up movie you've never heard of, most likely? Watch River's Edge, starring Keanu Reeves. This movie it has so much unintentional, weird, bizarre shit happening that's so funny and it's not meant to be. It's glorious. River's Edge, man. Go watch that movie and say thank you, John, after you're done. Favorite directors who have faded away from the spotlight? I don't know if they've necessarily faded away from the spotlight, but I'd like to see them return to their glory. I'd like to see Steven Spielberg return to do a fun, adventurous movie. Just have him return to do something fun and adventurous once again. And Robert Zemeckis. Love that guy. He brought you Forrest Gump. He brought you Back to the Future. I want him to return to do another live action fun filled movie. So maybe those two guys. They've been doing kind of the same thing for the last decade. I want to see them do a little something different. uh, do you like Jeremy Johns? Yeah, I met Jeremy Johns a couple years ago. I would say he is like he is in his videos. That's how Jeremy Johns is. He's nice. I had no problem with him. I talked to him for like an hour, just shooting the shit about YouTube and movies. So would it be what the fuck is it? Would it be funny to see Nicolas Cage as Batman? Well, the guy almost played fucking Superman back in the 90s. So, as Batman, yeah. And speaking of Nicolas Cage and Batman, I was going to make a video about this. I was going to make a video, but he almost played the Scarecrow in the failed Joel Schumacher Batman sequel to Batman and Robin. He was going to play the Scarecrow, which would, like, as much as I hate Joel Schumacher and Batman and Robin and everything that's connected with that, I just think all that shit's an abomination against humanity. I would have loved to see that. I would have loved to see just Nicolas Cage in a crazy, shitty Batman movie playing the Scarecrow. That would have been great. Favorite Metallica songs: Master Puppets and For Whom the Bell Tolls. Listen to the S&M version of For Whom the Bell Tolls. That is one of the most epic, badass songs you will ever listen to in your life. And when you listen to it, you're going to want to go outside and punch the glass out of cars. All right. What are some Halloween movies to get in the mood for the holiday? We just talked about that a little bit ago. If you would review The Dark Knight Rises today, would you still give it an A+? I'm aware that that movie might deserve an A-. But with that being said, I still enjoy the hell out of that movie, and there's a reason. Ever since that movie came out on Blu-ray, I've watched it maybe 15 times because I enjoy it. I mean, I love the character of Batman, and though the movie could use some improvement, but the things that it did get right, it did them perfectly. And the scope of that movie and just some of the symbolism and the meaning and the music and the inspirational tone, it's all badass. And plus the character of Bane as the villain. Loved it. No complaints whatsoever. So would I still give it an A+? I don't know. You know, an A, I'd probably give it an A. An A+, only because it had some problems. Maybe I couldn't do it, but I still love it. And you gotta think, at the time I seen that movie, that was literally one of the most enjoyable theater experiences I've ever seen, because I was anticipating that movie for like 2 years, and for me, it gave me what I wanted. Do you think Nightcrawler and Gambit will be in the X-Men Apocalypse? When you're talking about Nightcrawler, I thought you were talking about the upcoming Jake Gyllenhaal movie. Yeah, Nightcrawler. I don't know. I don't think they're gonna put Nightcrawler in the upcoming X-Men movie, are they? I don't know for sure. I mean, they should if they're not. And also, Gambit, played by Channing Tatum. I think he will at least have an appearance or a scene in the upcoming X-Men Apocalypse movie. It'd be stupid not to put him in it, seeing how they're trying to give him his own solo movie. So I think he will definitely have maybe like, for example, what they did with the character of Quicksilver in X-Men Days of Future Past. They gave him like that one really big scene. He did some cool shit. You got to know the character. I think they're going to do the same thing with Gambit in the upcoming X-Men Apocalypse movie. Or at least that's what I'd like to see done. Do you think Nolan should direct a scary movie? I mean, that's kind of out there, but, well, I think Nolan could. I'm not saying Nolan needs to direct not direct like a slasher or horror film like The Conjuring, but something a little bit bigger in tone and scope, and maybe just make it eerie and scary. I think that would work. I think Nolan could maybe do something like that in the future. Which accent do you find sexier, Australian or British? I'm not. I don't mind the way British women sound. I want to take your wank out and put in. I don't know what that was. I'm sorry. I like Australian accents though. The Australian accents work for me. John, are you going to see Dumb and Dumber 2? Absolutely, I'm going to see it. I just hope that they didn't include every funny one-liner in the trailer. Please, I hope every gag that was funny wasn't in that trailer. But I'm having a feeling it might have been. The Nightcrawler movie looks fucking amazing. He didn't even say fucking. I added that in because I'm excited to see it. It looks awesome. It really does. I hope it's good. John, what would you do if you found a car on fire and went to save the people inside, and Lights, Camera, Jackson, Joel Schumacher, and Yuri Bull were in the car? Would you still save them? I would urinate on their flaming corpses to put the fire out. So yes, in a way, I would save them. But they're gonna feel my wrath. That was rude. That was rude. But I stand by it. John, what would you do if someone you actually know tore off their face mask? I don't know what that means. Nicolas Cage is Patrick Bateman. John, what do you think? Nicolas Cage is Patrick Bateman in reality. I really feel like he kills hookers at night. That I would be okay with that. John, what are your thoughts on early mixed reviews of Interstellar? We already talked about that. It currently has a 73% on Rotten Tomatoes. I don't know. Here's my guess on Interstellar. I feel like it's not quite going to give us the space exploration that we want it to. That's just my guess. And I feel like it's going to have a lot of scenes with characters back and forth, maybe on this space shuttle. But as far as the exploration side of things, I just hope that I'm completely wrong and it really does go for it. And it just blows your mind and it goes to other universes and planets. I'm hoping that they do that because they have an opportunity to do it, and not to do it would just be a waste. Hey, John, salute from Europe. Hello, how are you? Vincent Knight. So many Lights, Camera, Jackson questions. I am reading them. I don't want to talk about it. John, shit, they're moving too quick. John, if Ted and the Muppets were staying over at your place, how would you react? I don't know. I think me and Ted would get along very good, even though he's a teddy bear puppet. Deathstroke versus Deadpool. Who would win? Probably Deadpool, because he doesn't really abide by the rules of logic. So I think Deadpool would probably win in the fight. But I like Deathstroke. What time is it? Gotta check the time. Depending on the time, they're either in one place or several. 6:54. All right. Batman 1966 TV series Blu-ray comes out next month. You going to buy it, John? I think I might be getting an early copy of it from Warner Brothers, so I can do a review for you guys. So I'm looking forward to it because there's a lot of episodes of that show I have never seen. So I'm kind of looking forward to going back and watching it. Hey, John, would you watch a live-action Shrek movie if Nolan directed it? Shrek is love. Shrek is life. Absolutely. As long as he flew into the room of a young boy and left happy, I would watch it. Hey, John, when are we going to questions or opinions on steroids? The weird thing, you want to know some insight to my life? I watch a lot of workout videos, and I watch a lot of videos discussing steroids just because I find it's interesting to me, and I like to know something about everything. And for me, would I do them? No, I'd be scared. But does part of me say, hey, I want to see what I could be like with these? Absolutely. Curiosity. But yeah, not curious enough to actually try them. I just don't feel like the side effects are worth the benefits. So if people do them, that's fine. That's cool. Doesn't bother me. John, do you think you're strong enough to fight Tom Hardy? I'm gonna be, in all honesty, I do. I'm taller than him. I think right now I weigh as much as him. I think in all honesty, I think he could maybe kick my ass, but I think I could put up a good fight. That's all I'm saying. All right. Turn the camera. There we go. That's what I wanted. I wanted to lean back and talk to you guys like this. There we go. Hey, John, will you watch Hannibal, the TV shows? Maybe. I don't know. Some people say they're good, but I don't hear a lot of hype really surrounding them. Hey, John, what is your thought on the new TV show Gotham? I watched the first two episodes of Gotham. Not for me. Not for me. I'm just gonna leave it there. It's not for me. I remember in the second episode, there's some guy killing people with fucking balloons or something. I'm like, no, I can't. I'm not doing it. I tried. Here's my thing with Gotham. Why is it so hard to take the character of Batman and just make a Batman TV show? Why can't we do that? I don't comprehend why we can't do that and make a good show out of it. Um, because let's face it, the ratings would be better. You make it down to earth. You don't have to make it big and grand as like the Nolan Batman movies. And I don't know why they didn't develop a show around the actual character of Batman. I mean, yeah, I see young Bruce Wayne in the show Gotham, but it's just so, yeah, he's so boring. He's just, uh, I don't know, not a fan of the show. Thoughts on Shia LaBeouf? LaBeouf. He went crazy for a little bit. He wore a paper bag over his head and said he wasn't famous anymore. And that's cool, man. That's his choice. But I think the guy does have acting talent. He was just in the movie Fury with Brad Pitt. I just poked the microphone. I thought he did a good job, and I've never had a problem with him. I mean, I remember Shia LaBeouf when he was running around with the Transformers in Transformers One as Sam Witwicky, and I thought I liked him, and I just hope he gets his shit together and keeps acting. A question about doing something disgusting to Jason Voorhees. Yes, I would. To see Batman v Superman early? You bet I would. John, what would you do if you like a girl but she already has a boyfriend? Move on, man. Move on. There's only two bad things that can happen to that. If you like a girl and she already has a boyfriend and you talk your way into her, that sounded fucking bad. If you talk your way into her heart and get her to go away from her boyfriend, what's to say that the next guy doesn't do that to you too? She's just going to be one of those girls who goes from guy to guy. Whoever wows her for 5 minutes, that's who she's going with. So you probably don't want the girl after that. Move on, man. Just move on. Now, yeah, but here's my question. Is the boyfriend, is he an asshole? Because if he's an asshole, then there's reason for her not to be there anymore. So there's so many what-ifs to that question. Hey, John, would you sell your soul to the devil to save your family? I already sold my soul to the devil a long time ago, my good man. But I will live for eternity. That's not true. But I would want to be, in all honesty, though, if I had the choice to become a vampire by letting someone bite me, like another vampire, and I could live on for eternity, but I'd have to suck the blood of the innocent, I think I would do it, in all honesty. Because I already have the lifestyle of a vampire. I'm up all night. I sleep all day. It just seems like the right, but I don't like techno music. Like, it seems like all vampires nowadays have to like techno music. It's okay, but I don't know if I could go to like rave parties every night. That's what I feel like vampires do. They just go to rave parties. And I want to sit at home and watch like reruns of TV shows. John, celebrity crush. I don't know. Me and my girlfriend have had discussions about this. I said Megan Fox at one, definitely not for the personality, but maybe the chick from Game of Thrones, the blonde chick from Game of Thrones. Yeah. Um, hey, John, what do you think about Michael Cera being confirmed as Robin in Batman v Superman? Well, that's not true, but that would be awful. All right, guys, it's 7 o'clock. I'm gonna answer just a few more questions, and then I'm gonna maybe go grab something to eat, jump in my car, go to the gym, listen to some badass epic music, maybe possibly the Dark Knight Rises soundtrack, and some motivational music mixes with the voice of Sylvester Stallone in the background. John, are you scared of Tiny Todd? Yes, Tiny Todd. Well, he's dead now. I buried him in the Blu-ray bin at Walmart. That was on another Flick Trip video, so check that out. Could Pinocchio make an amazing horror movie, or is it already? I think Pinocchio is one of the creepiest bastards ever to live. I mean, if you want something like Pinocchio, just pretend Chucky is the story of Pinocchio. Okay, I'll make two more questions. Thoughts on the cast of season True Detective? Now who do we have? We have Vince Vaughn and Colin Farrell in True Detective season 2. Now, even if they do good jobs and the show is still good, I don't feel like anyone can ever top the character and acting ability that Matthew McConaughey gave in season 1. I just don't feel like anyone can top that character. That was awesome. He was one of the most fascinating characters I've ever seen on a TV show. Maybe I consider that TV show a movie. But it's interesting casting choices for sure. John, love your show. My question is, do you like Disney? Do you like Disney Channel shows? No, I don't watch any modern day Disney Channel. I like Disney animated movies, some of the live action movies, but I don't watch the TV shows. I just Hannah Montana. I can't. That shit. I can't do it, man. Hey, John, what are you going? I already answered that. John, when are you going to get an Xbox One? Well, speaking of Xbox One, I heard in a few weeks, Xbox Ones are supposed to go down to $350, which is $50 cheaper than they are right now everywhere. So I'm kind of waiting on that. John, I'm from the same place as Oliver Cook, the star of Ouija. I would like to apologize on her behalf for the monstrosity of the film. Yeah, the movie Ouija. We're going to talk about it in an upcoming movie review, but fuck. Like, how do you just make a movie that bad? All right. The questions are just getting more bizarre right now. All right, so anyway, guys, yeah, once again, I just want to make maybe an hour live hangout where I can answer some of your questions. And say hi to you guys. And by the way, thanks for everyone who joined it. I appreciate it. Thanks for all the great questions. And don't worry, we're going to do more of these in the future. More of these are coming. So anyway, guys, yeah, as usual, thanks for watching. And if you want to see another one of these, give me a thumbs up, leave a comment down below, and we'll do some more in the future. Good night, and I'll see you guys tomorrow with a couple of new movie reviews over on the Flick channel. And now I got to turn this off. All right, guys, so thanks for watching. See you next time.